text tells us love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. So you do know cursing somebody out is dishonoring. Okay? It's going to be rough in here today. All right. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. But I love you, girl. Then why is your fuse like a firecracker? It is not easily angered. It keeps some records. It keeps a few receipts. But that was toxic, so it keeps toxic records. Love keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always preserves. This is really showing us the DNA of love. Like 5 chromosomes, if you will, of love can be found right here in this text. And it's saying, love does not, love always, love never, love is not. It's showing you how to build the DNA strand of love in the heart of the Christian. Love is. Love does. No, love does not. Love never. Love always. Love is not. So it's really saying sometimes love can be seen by what you do. Then other times love can be seen by what you don't do. And out of all of these different attributes of the text that the Apostle Paul was explaining to the Corinthian church, we want to pull over, put a quarter in the meter, and spend the rest of our sermonic journey on this afternoon around I got receipts. Let's focus on the part that love holds no record. Let's focus on that part. Why, Pastor? Because you cannot hold a record against them and display the love of Jesus toward them at the same time. One more again, not one more time, one more again. You cannot hold a record against them and then display the love of Jesus towards them at the same time. Because love holds no records. Love holds no receipts. Some of us are like, I got so much receipts. Okay, just in case we don't know what receipts are, I know I'm speaking in millennial terminology, but let me break it down, okay? A receipt is a detailed account. It's gonna come for your neck on today. It is a detailed account. You got saved voicemails. You got saved text threads. You got pictures. Come on, talk to me. You got screenshots. You got DMs. You got locations. You got addresses. Y'all don't want to talk to me. I got receipts on them. I got receipts. Receipts is a detailed account that contains a flaw, fault, or an offense that you have saved in your heart that's against a person, a people, or against yourself. Receipts, I got them. Some of us are like, I got so much tea on them. I have receipts, but you cannot hold a receipt against them and display the love of Jesus toward them at the same time, because love holds no records. Let me mess you up a little more. Keeping tabs. Y'all should see y'all face. Keeping tabs or holding a record is an emotional bill that you keep paying with your peace. Holding records, that's an emotional bill that you keep paying with your sleep, that you keep paying with your joy, that you keep paying with your confidence, that you keep paying with your security, that you keep paying with grace. You're paying for it. It is the role that you are playing in your own suffering. Because I got receipts on them. And how you steward your current wounds will affect how you see. How you steward what hurt you will affect how you see people. Your perspective is eroded and corroded by the receipts that you hold in your heart. But I cannot hold a receipt or a record against them and display the love of Jesus toward them at the same time. So you are either treating people out of the love of Jesus, or you are treating them out of receipts. See, some of us are like this. I actually did this, okay? Some of us are like, okay, they didn't invite me to the party, all right? You show right. I got receipts. Okay, they said something smart to me and they badmouthed me. Okay, I got receipts. Y'all hear all that? Okay, I asked my husband to do this and he didn't keep his word. I got receipts. Y'all hear this? So what happens, truthfully, for a lot of us is before we ever encounter Christ, we encounter receipts. And we are literally walking around like, you know what? Last time I asked them to do this, they didn't show up. Somebody say, I got receipts. And truthfully, I think this is how a lot of our thought process, this is how it sounds. Let me put it in the mic. You have receipts. You have a fence around you of receipts. You can't enjoy church because you come with a church hurt receipt. You can't experience anything new because you have receipts from something old. You're walking around with receipts. Receipts. Your kindness, that's incarcerated to your receipts. Your grace extension, that's incarcerated to your receipts. You showing off the love of Jesus to others, that's incarcerated to receipts. You being able to sleep at night, you can't sleep because all night long your mind keeps sounding like receipts after receipts after receipts, and I can't experience the peace of Jesus because I have the receipts from people. Receipts. Receipts. A lot of us, this is how you walking around in the spirit. Let me rip where you get more. Some of us got several receipts. You walking around like this, holding receipts, but professing I've received grace. Receipts. Somebody shout receipts. And if we were to go a little bit deeper and really start to break this down, you're starting to make decisions from receipts. We're having a get-together at church. You have to book a session with your receipt first before you can even respond to the invitation. Receipts. Can I go deeper? Holding a record of wrong or receipts is actually bitterness playing dress up. Let me go ahead and come for your neck. Okay. The soil of bitterness begins as the seeds of receipts. Why am I so bitter? It's because of all the receipts you have in your heart. towards yourself, towards your mom, towards your ex-pastor, towards your ex-husband, towards God. You have receipts, and you wonder, why is the first emotion I feel anger? Why is the only emotion I feel is distrust? It's because your heart is filled with receipts. So the soil of bitterness begins as the seed of holding receipts. Can I go even deeper? I've discovered this through counseling a lot of couples and a lot of brothers. Many times, bitterness is grief that was never fully processed. When I'm talking, I'm hearing a eulogy that never happened. It's bitterness. Bitterness is grief that was never fully processed. So you're literally walking around with a decomposing body that you never buried. And the stench is getting on your attitude. The stench is getting on your perspective. The stench has permeated your mouth. The stench has permeated what you search and what you don't search. Because you never had a eulogy in your heart. You never had a eulogy in your mind, so you can't move forward. Because I'm bitter over what happened. It's grief that never was fully processed. Bitterness. But here's the thing. I cannot hold a record against you and display the love of Jesus towards you at the same time. Because love holds no records. I'm speaking to a married couple right now prophetically. In the house and watching online. The cancer to your union. The virus to your marriage is you keep holding records on your spouse. You're not under attack. Your covenant is under receipts. And so you can't even see the areas that they are changing because holding receipts blinds you to growth. You can't see that they are trying because you got receipts. You can't see that he's trying to get better because you got receipts. So there's no grace. Because of all of the receipts. And single people, you're not off the hook. This is. Y'all like, yes, okay. Like, this is not confined to married or people in relationships. This is a biblical ethic for the Christian. In layman's terms, this is not an option, bruh. Not keeping a record of wrongs is not an option for the individual who claims to be a Christ follower. Good marriages consist of good forgivers. Talk, Holy Spirit. This series is hitting different, y'all. This series has a different level of oil on it. I could just tell. Listen, I'm trying to get us to really, really understand why we're not experiencing the blessings of God and the peace of God. And we want the promises the Bible speaks about, but we're not being the Christian the Bible tells us to be like. So some of the stuff that I'm preaching to you sounds like, sounds good, but I never experienced it. Have you ever strived to be a Christian that keeps no record of wrongdoings? Pastor, you don't understand. They just disappointed me. They disappointed me. I hear you. You're human. You have a right to feel disappointed. But let me try to help your perspective of it. Disappointment is for revelation, not devastation. Changes everything. Disappointment is for revelation, not devastation, okay? So when I understand and I get a revelation of the nature of a thing, its character never shocks me. Selah, let it sit for a moment. When you understand and have the revelation of the nature of a thing, its character never shocks you. I've never been shocked by a dog that barks. Oh my God, it went roof. Never. Why? Because I have a revelation of its nature, so its character doesn't shock me. I've never been shocked by a bird going tweet tweet. That sound effect, though. I've never been shocked by a bird doing that because I have a revelation of its nature. I understand its character. I'm not shocked by a baby crying. I understand its nature. And so its nature, since I understand its nature, I have the revelation of its nature, the character of it never shocks me. Never shocks me. See, we have to talk about this later on in the sermon. We're going to deal with, okay, hold on, it sounds good, but how do you guard your heart with all diligence and not hold a record against them at the same time? We're going to talk about that in a minute. But we have to deal with disappointment. You know why? Because when disappointment is not handled properly, bitterness will be born. It will. And we are not born in this earth realm knowing how to handle disappointment. You don't come here knowing how to handle loss. Kingdom love must be taught. I'm like, okay, if you want to be a hairstylist, you go to school, hopefully. If you want to be a mechanic, you go to school. You want to be a surgeon, you go to school. Why is it we have not gone anywhere to educate ourselves on how to love, but we think we know how to do it? In middle school, talking about, I love him. What? Kingdom love must be taught. That's what this series is about, is teaching us a biblical perspective of God's view of the Christian and what love is.